Greetings, everyone. I am Pete Pardo from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to pick number four of my favorite 30 bass players of all time, which we've been counting down each and every day here this month in June 2025. We're almost done. We're in the top four here. Of course, every day we're also picking our three favorite albums featuring their bass playing and our favorite song that has the most outstanding bass playing from that artist, in our opinion. All right, so three albums, one song, 30 bass players rock, pop, prog, metal, fusion, blues, whatever, country, classical, reggae, reggaeton, whatever. Doesn't matter. If they're your favorites, they make the list, right? That's how it goes. So today for pick number four, another outstanding bass player who I've been following for a long, long time. He's sadly no longer with us, but an immense talent, so important to the band that he was with, not only as a bass player, but songwriter and singer too. Let's bring to the stage for pick number four. It's a big pick. I gotta move over. Lazy. He was a big guy too. None other than Mr. Chris Squire from Yes. Yes, indeed. On the Rickenbacker 4001 S bass, most known for playing the Rickenbacker basses, right? Specifically that model. That was his kind of favorite, right? That trebly tone that he got. It's amazing how many Rickenbacker guys we've had on this list, right? Well, no, not a ton, but a few. We've had a few. We just had, Paul McCartney. We had a just yesterday, right? Paul played Rickenbacker quite a bit. Chris also big on Rickenbacker. John from Renaissance. We covered him earlier in the month. There have been some guys, but it's been a plethora of Fender bass players for the most part. Glenn Hughes played a Rickenbacker for a spell when he was in Deep Purple, but Chris mainly known for playing the Rickenbacker bass and specifically that 4001 S model, which I believe his was like 1964, if I remember correctly. So yeah, an amazing player. Big bottom end, but could do all the lead stuff. And he was notorious for following Steve Howe's Flights of Fancy around the arrangements, right? Could do that very well. But like when things kind of settle down a little bit, that elastic kind of busy little thing that he always did was always there, kind of piecing everything together. I always think his bass was kind of like grabbing Bruford or Squire, Alan White, and grabbing Howe, grabbing Wakeman or whatever, and just kind of like gluing it all together. Just so nimble and so kind of like rubbery, just amazing stuff. It's so melodic and so memorable. Gotta love when bass players like create really memorable bass lines. That's kind of the key to it all. Yeah, anybody can just kind of follow along with the riffs and lay down the bottom end, but when you're doing that and you can create all this other space and fill in little gaps and things and make it interesting, it's like, because how many classic Yes songs do we know and remember those amazing bass lines just as much as we do those guitar licks or those vocal harmonies from John Anderson, right? Or those keyboard flourishes from Wakeman, right? Exactly. Exactly. So let me kill the Prezi here. We'll take the so let's plus well, thank Ken Golden for this awesome Man of Bronze, right? Doc Savage shirt. Look at that. For the very first paperback book, right? It's book cover. I'm a huge Doc Savage fan. Anyway, that's the story for another day. Anyway, three favorite albums. I mean, there's so much good stuff to choose from. There's so much great stuff to choose from. So much legendary stuff to choose from. I'm gonna go first with the Yes album. I think my picks are kind of predictable, but it is what it is, right? I mean, his bass work on songs like Yours Is No Disgrace and Starship Trooper for sure, Perpetual Change, and just amazing. Seen All Good People, right? It's just classic stuff. I mean, here is where, I mean, he had some great bass stuff on those first two Yes albums for sure, but I don't think the band really kind of came into their own yet. There's some great work on there, but here, you bring Steve Howe into the band. This is the last album for a while with Mr. Tony K. Um, but still amazing stuff on here. The songwriting's really gelling on here, and man, Chris is just coming across as just a master at his craft on this particular album. So that had to be in my picks. I got to have Fragile here. Get this. So the other day I was at the gym, just like 2 days ago, and I wanted to talk to him, but you know how it is just walking up to people you don't know, especially young people, because they're so like socially awkward. I saw like these two really young guys, kids. I mean, they couldn't have been out of their teens. We were working at the gym the other day, and one of the kids had a Yes Fragile shirt, bright blue, with the Roger Dean artwork. And I'm like, look at this. 17, 18-year-old kid into Yes, or maybe he's not into Yes, and he just liked the shirt. I don't know. And I wanted to go up to him and say, I love that band, love that shirt. So cool that you're wearing it. What's your favorite Yes album? And he'd be like, I didn't do all that, of course. I wanted to, but it was cool. Anyway, I digress. I knew I was going to tell that story because I knew he was coming up on my countdown. So anyway, I mean, there's just some great stuff on here. I'm like beyond tired of hearing Roundabout, but man, his bass playing a Roundabout is so good. It's just so good. It's so amazing. Of course, you got the Fish on here is legendary for him, but South Side of the Sky, and of course, Heart of the Sunrise and the Long Distance Runaround. I mean, it's so groovy. It's so awesome. Got to include Fragile. And I have to include Close to the Edge. I have a couple others here that I'm going to mention that I could have picked, but I mean, how about his little noodling stuff at the beginning or Close to the Edge and all throughout that song, right? And what's really great is like, amidst all the chaos on the title track, especially at the beginning, it's like, he's doing some insane stuff there and just all throughout. I mean, this gorgeous, steady melodic playing on And You and I, and then of course in Siberian Control, he's just like doing all sorts of cool stuff. And again, Hal's doing this amazing stuff. He's doing this amazing stuff. You got Wakeman doing it. It's like a band that's like so busy all the time. You have these amazing virtuosos, but yet it all makes perfect sense. And it's all very memorable and it's all very melodic. That's the key to this guy, right? Just so amazing. Yeah, I do want to mention Relayer because his playing is so amazing on Relayer. And you know what? I love what he does on drama. I mean, Tempest Fusion for crying out loud, so good. Machine Messiah, how heavy is his playing on there? Just bottom heavy, shaking the ground heavy. So good. Sorry, I had to throw those in there. As far as my pick for song, again, I had a bunch of them that I was considering because there's so many good ones. I've already mentioned a whole bunch of them that I was considering, and I was like, God, do I make a case for Tempest Fugit? I mean, do I really do that? Could I do that? Right? Sure, I could have. Ultimately, I had to go back to the Fragile album and pick Heart of the Sunrise. I mean, what I talked about before, when he's doing this insane stuff along with Steve Howe, and then when things kind of calm down, and Howe is kind of simmering in the background. The keyboards are kind of like, just kind of floating there. There is Chris Squire taking you on that journey, getting you ready for the next barrage coming from Hal. Then he can then jump back in with them and do their thing. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. I absolutely love Heart of the Sunrise, and to me, it's one of the great kind of songs in the Yes catalog that just has amazing, amazing musicianship from everybody. But when you like, again, remember what I said yesterday, it's like, if you stop and listen to a song and tune out various elements and just concentrate on one instrument, and you listen to what Chris Squire is doing on Heart of the Sunrise, you'd be really amazed. It's absolutely incredible, incredible. So that's my pick for today, Mr. Chris Squire. These are the albums. Heart of the Sunrise is my song pick. But I was like, can I pick Silent Wings of Freedom from Tormato? Could do that, right? It's great bass playing in that song too, right? So much of it. So anyway, let us know what you think of Chris Squire down in the comments below, as well as your pick for today. And we'll see you tomorrow for pick number 3. Just 3 to go. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Monday's the 30th. You'll get my pick number 1. And then, of course, on Tuesday starts all over again, doing keyboard players. I haven't done my list yet. I haven't even thought about it yet. I'm going to work on it over the weekend. I'll put that together. So this should be interesting. So many great ones. A lot of work to do. It's going to be a busy weekend for me, kind of getting ready to do this. So yeah, but that's okay because it's fun. So anyway, programming coming up on the channel. Stay tuned in just a little bit. We've got Rick Labonte and myself. Live album love. We're going to be talking about some of our favorite live albums. We're going to start and do like a letters of the alphabet thing, kind of going forward for a while. We're going to go back to the letter A, start at the beginning. And we're going to pick out and talk about some of our favorite live albums from bands and artists that start with the letter A, right? So either the last name starts with A or the band name starts with A, right? So yeah, the usual stuff, AC/DC, Aerosmith, except, right? John Anderson, Ian Anderson, right? Angel, right? Those are all the A's. There's plenty more bands in that scope. So see what we pick out coming up in just a little while. We've got the professor's picks coming up today. Just a reminder for next week's Professor's Picks, because normally on that show airs on Friday. Next Friday is 4th of July here in the States. It is a holiday. So we are going to actually air the Professor's Picks episode on Thursday the 3rd at the same time at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So just keep that in mind for next week. So it'll be airing one day early. We've got coming up tomorrow, we have the UK Connection, part one of a two-part show talking about bands from the US, bands from the UK that had tremendous success back home, but it did not translate overseas, right? Practically unknown, ignored in the opposite direction. But at home, they did big, big business. So we're going to be talking about bands that fell into that kind of category. It'll be a two-part episode. So part one will be happening tomorrow. We've got ranking the albums coming up also on Sunday. So we've got two episodes for you. I'm going to be ranking the three albums of Balance, very cool American melodic rock AOR band featuring Bob Kulick on lead guitar. Very cool band. And then Craig Kaminsky will be ranking the albums of Nashville Pussy. So we got two for you this weekend. Also, I hope, 'cause I think we're doing it today. Lynn Versace and I will have the next episode of Playlist Euphoria for you. We're going to be talking all about some of our favorite 70s rock and pop songs for a road trip. Mandatory listens when you're out driving somewhere, heading on a trip. And when you bring up these classic 70s songs, just makes the ride even more easy and more fun. So I know we've been talking about doing it for a couple of weeks, but we're hoping to get to that today. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully that'll be over this weekend as well. So anyway, that's what's happening. Um, Next week, of course, we've got Four Fusion Friday next week. We have just coming up in the next couple of weeks. We got Four Fusion Friday next week. The following week is Hudson Valley Squares. I believe also the following week, the next episode of Talking Jazz. Mike Antonelli and I are going to be talking about some of our favorite records, favorite albums released on Blue Note Records, right? Our 10 favorites each. So we're going to be doing a whole history of Blue Note Records and talking about some of our favorite releases on that label. There's a million of them. Trying to whittle it down to 10 will be interesting. So we'll see how that goes. Then, the following weeks, we've got In the Prog Seat and Monsters Den and everything else we do here on the channel. So stay tuned for that and more. Next episode of What Is It? We'll be talking about the band and the music of Styx, kind of trying to get to the bottom of what this band Styx is all about, because they are different things to so many people. And then it's kind of relevant that we're talking about it now with their brand new album that just came out. So join Brendan Snyder, Scott Lade, Grant Arthur, Phil Aston, and myself as we talk about Styx, and that'll be sometime later in July. So lots coming up next month. So stay tuned for all of it. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also follow us on Instagram. We've got an Instagram account now, so I've been posting stuff on there pretty regularly. So it's Peter Pardo SOT, all one word, Peter Pardo SOT. Come and follow us over there. We've already got about 300 people that have started following. So if you are on Instagram and you want to kind of keep up with us over there, come join us. The goal is to get as many people following us on Instagram as we have on Facebook. We have thousands and thousands of people following us on Facebook. So hopefully we can get up to those numbers on Instagram. So if you haven't yet, please go seek us out on Instagram. And we'll see you tomorrow for pick number 3, everybody. All right. Have a great Friday. See you in a little bit for Live Album Love. I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.